Good day. Hello.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
We are back again, going to do another recording today. Me and Jennifer. My name is Sondra, and this is Jennifer here. We've shown up to drink a cup of cacao and be open to share some information and talk a bit about today's Mayan sign as well. It's the start of a new trecena, it's called, a new wave or cycle of 13 days. So we want to connect a bit with that, see what that's all about, right, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Should we just dive right into saying a little bit about today's energy in the Mayan calendar, perhaps?
Yeah, I feel that I would like to share a small invocation like we do in the Mayan world, just to call in the good energies and to put ourselves in the right place to also channel this message for you and see what the energy wants to really come through. So this is the Mayan way. So I would like to call in the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth and the heart of the fire and the heart of the water and the heart of the four winds that are the heart of our lives, and calling the energy of the Great Spirit and the energy of the Nawal of today, one Aqabal, or in Mayan, number one is called Hun. So it's Hun Aqabal, and to come and help us deliver this message to you today, as well as the other 19 energies that come together with Aqabal to make it complete, and that you can be open your mind, open your heart to receive this message today, because we're going to talk about this energy, how it can affect you, how you can use it, how you can benefit from it.
Right. That's nice that you started with this invocation, the little short meditation. That's sometimes a very good thing to do and necessary to take a little pause and connect. And I think today is such a time. Jennifer mentioned the name of today's energy or sign in the Mayan calendar. It's Hun Aq'ab'al, or one Aq'ab'al. And Aq'ab'al is the representation of the dawn, the sunset, as well as the dawn. And my way of seeing it and interpreting it is like being present in the change from light to dark, or dark to light, from the ending of the night, being present in the first light of the new day that's coming. So it's a bit stepping into the unknown. It's moving from one world or one version of this reality into the next. The light changes, and each one of these Mayan signs, they have their own animal associated with it that acts like a power animal, giving certain powers to us. And so the power animal, there are actually two, but the one that I can relate to the most with the idea of the dawn and the shifting light of day, or moving into something unknown, it's the bat, that the animal bat is associated with Aq'ab'al. And it's nice because, as we know, the bat doesn't really navigate through the night by seeing, because it's dark anyway. So it relies more on its hearing and
sound.
Yes, sending out sounds and then receiving an echo back, and that way it knows where things are, which is an interesting ability. And I think that it invites us to kind of explore perhaps a similar power of not all, we don't necessarily need to rely on our eyes, our visual eyes, or maybe even our physical senses only to perceive what is out there or exists as a type of potential, a possibility. So this day today, as well as the following 13 days, will be colored or shaped, influenced by this particular energy of Aqabal.
I have to say something because it's really funny. He says that the one that he connects more to is the bat, that is the one in the night. And you're leaving out a bit the one from the day. And I think that that is really interesting because Aqabal is really the integration of the light and the day. So the other animal that also represents Aqabal is the aramako or papagayo, this colorful bird that we find in Guatemala. And that's it. You know, bats are like black and they belong to the caves, to the like the underworld and to the dark side. And this bird is like the one that brings like the rainbow colors, like it's so colorful, it's the light. And I think that Aqabal is that it's the light and the darkness, and how we can integrate them, how we can know they are both part of the cycles of time. There is a time for the night and there is a time for the day, and that's what actually happens not only in a 24-hour cycle, but it also happens in the biggest and greatest cycles of time.
So in other words, as much as it's about the dark and the night and the bat and the sensing of new things, maybe it's also a lot about, like, what comes to my mind is to express your colors and to show your colors and to be the new dawn, be part of the new dawn, the new expression of what is living in us, perhaps. And perhaps since we're two people here, maybe we are a bit on each our side. You know, we all contain, of course, everything. I mean, we consist of a duality, but also there is the unity in me as a person and in Jennifer as a person. But maybe exactly now we kind of, maybe we unknowingly we play out a bit that I connect with the bat, and Jennifer was reminding about the colors of the aramaka.
The thing is that it's the integration of the duality. So it's like the duality disappears in a way because we are conscious of it. It's not only day and night, but it's also feminine and masculine energy. So there's nothing wrong with what you said, but I think that it was really interesting to think about because it really gave me the flow to talk about what Aqabal really brings and means.
And
I'm
then
gonna
it's
open
about
the door for the cat. She's always on time when we eat or when we do videos.
And as well, this energy speaks about the clarity of finding the clarity, like when the night is dark and there is perhaps no clarity, of finding the first rays of light, the first understanding, being present in that first glimpse of something, a realization of something. And for me, I'm sitting here, and at this very moment in my life, I feel like there's a lot of things going on, a bit like many possibilities around me, many things that I've chosen to become involved in, little ideas, projects, some between me and Jennifer, some connected to other people.
Turn that off.
And I think in the midst of it, this might be a good time for not only myself, but maybe for us all to be open, to be present in the change, and perhaps most importantly, to not just, of course, to be waiting, but to recognize the change we most prefer and to be that.
There's one thing that it's inevitable, and that is change. And nature shows us, it's a perfect mirror of what happens not only in nature, but us as being part of nature. And Aqabal, what really means literally the word Aqabal is the the dawn, the sunrise, the time before the sun rises, the time when it's this light that the sun is still not out, but the night is starting to become clear, like Sondre says, the clarity. But there is no dawn without the sunset. So it's this time of the change of the light in the day. And so what Aqabal brings for us is that it's really that every morning we have the opportunity of connecting with this change consciously, and to realize that there's a change happening, because today is not going to be the same as yesterday. No matter if your life is boring, something different is going to happen. Something is going to change. But it's really for us to have consciously the opportunity to making changes in our life. And what I was talking about, the small cycle of the 24 hours of day and night, there are bigger cycles of time, because the Mayas were timekeepers. They were really connecting with recording the events that would happen in different and certain times along the way. And so they realized that they were bigger cycles of time that were important, that were showing us something. So December 21st, 2012, when they were talking about the end of the world, which was the end of a cycle of the Mayan calendar of 13 Baktuns, it was the time for a long night in the cosmos to finish, because the new dawn was coming. And even though it did come, the cycle ended, the night ended, and the light is coming. The thing is that people thought that maybe this new beginning was going to bring only peace and love and these things, which definitely a lot of people were waking up more their consciousness to what we really need as humanity. But first, the light was gonna shine up on all the shit that is also going on all the things that we still need to work on, to all the things of how far humanity has come. Put the light in the darkness so that we can see and we can consciously make the change. And these cycles of time, this new dawn, this new morning that has come after December 21st, 2012, it's not something that just happens like this. This morning that they talk about in the bigger cycles of time of the Maya is around 5,000 years.
Right.
But what is really beautiful and what it is really important is that not because it's going to take a long time, it doesn't mean that the best time to start is now. It's today. You know, like I always like to talk about this of that we are the ones who are preparing the land, that our kids are going to be the ones that are going to plant the seed, that our grandchildren are the ones that are going to see the sprout, that our great grandchildren are going to be the ones who see the tree, and that our great great grandchildren are going to be the ones that are going to enjoy the shade of the tree or the fruits of the tree. The idea of this is that if we don't start today, even if we are not the ones that are going to sit under the shade of that tree or that are going to eat from that fruit, it's never going to happen, because it's a change that it's going to take some time. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some patience. It's going to take a lot of freaking faith that we are doing the right thing for the next generations. And not only that, but the Mayas always said that we leave, but we come back. So somehow it's this reincarnation or this thing that we are gonna actually come back and enjoy the fruits of the seeds that we plant today.
Right. Well, yeah, it makes me reflect on many things going on in my personal life, because one of the things that I have felt like I want to bring to the surface of sharing, expressing is a bit my own process of recently I've chosen to apply for teacher's education, and it's a long-term thing. It's 5 years, and I felt a lot of unclarity in myself regarding, is it really the path that I want to choose? Is it the path that I want to take? Is it going to benefit me? And the thing that I really can connect with as something I desire to work with or to be present in as a sort of teacher is this change. It's to be able to facilitate the change or co-create the change to bring about something more positive. And the education that I've been applying to now is it's like a standard teacher's education, which a part of me is maybe a bit afraid of it, that what I really want to be working with might get lost in that. On the other hand, I'm thinking, well, maybe I have to like just remain focused on a long-term goal, which, as Jennifer said, that this is the time perhaps to plow the earth, to later plant the seeds, and then sometime in the future there will be the time to harvest those results. So I have chosen to lean into taking that step, and at the same time I'm here, and I love to use the Mayan calendar and the energies of the Mayan calendar, and to use them as a guide. And even that is a type of teacher role, I find, which I think is important, because in these times there are so many options available to us. I mean, perhaps there always is, but through media, through social network, through technology, perhaps just as a result of the time, the energy state in the time, like metaphysically perhaps, or astrologically, here and now, there are many doors being opened, there are many choices we could make, there are things that come to the surface. Perhaps there are some versions of our reality, our life, that are brought to the surface so that we can see them, so that we can make a clear choice. Is this really what we prefer to be experiencing? And if not, then there's a part of us that might explore other options, other solutions. So I think that on one hand, these times might be confusing for many, but there also, in this confusion, of course, there exists the potential of finding the clarity, of finding your direction, your path, and connecting to something could be something we listen to, we experience, we read about, that kind of gives a reflection back, like the bat, the bat trying to navigate in the dark and sending out its echo and receiving a feedback. The same way, we can read a book, or we can maybe listen to a video, or speak to someone that gives us something that acts as a reminder or a reflection of the knowing we already have. And that happens to me. I'm sure it happens to you, Jennifer. I think it happens to all of us. And one of the things that I've connected with a lot lately is through this. There's a channel called Bashar, which speaks a lot about follow your excitement. And that's the statement that for me acts as a reflection of, okay, that sounds true, that makes sense to me. Follow your excitement sounds simple. Still, there are challenges to it. But I think that's really the key or the clue to really, as much as we can, to be present in that state or version of ourselves that holds the most energy, or the state of being which we most prefer.
I think that we are all given the opportunity for change. Not all the time it looks like the thing that we like, or we want, or we desire or prefer the most, but it's actually the one that is gonna help you to really create the change. Because the thing is that most of the time we are so used to our environment, to what happens on our daily life, to how it is. Even if we are used to and we feel comfortable in it, it doesn't really necessarily mean that we feel all the way good in it. It's just what we are used to. And sometimes we are trying to create the change, but also life is giving us the cards. It's also giving us the opportunity. It's also showing us the way. And I think that coming back to this energy of Aqabal, and in the times when we don't feel that we have all the clarity in ourselves, I remember Tata Pedro, my Mayan teacher, my Mayan guide. He used to say that we don't have to be like him or anything, but he used to say that if you are really looking for clarity, if you don't feel clear, and that you need to make decisions or something in yourself, the best thing to do, he said, was to wake up in the morning and receive this change, this clarity of the day, to clean your mind, to let that fresh newborn light from the day to touch your mind, to touch your whole reality and self, to be able to start receiving this clarity. I think, Sondre, that, for example, when you activate the Mayan calendar in you, when you learn about the energies, when you follow the energies of the Mayan calendar, which anyone can do, you can do it, I can do it. It's not only a certain people that can do it. It's really open for anyone who feels connected, who feels interested, who feels curious for it, that can actually help you and guide you in receiving a lot of this clarity and guidance. So with what you were saying about the change with deciding to go in to take an education and feeling that maybe that takes you away from the things that you really love to do and that excites you, I think that we just need to kind of find this integration, to find these ways in that you can still be true to what you really want and excites you, and also try out these other things that might give you also the things that you actually need, like maybe more stability, like maybe a direction, like something that grounds you, and this. So we are all here trying to do our best in our life. We know, I am sure that we all can feel that these are times when a lot of things are changing, not only personally but collectively, and that we want to make sure that we do the best we can do with our lives, for ourselves, for our kids, for our communities, for the places that we live in. And I think that the best thing is to understand that we are living actually in very important times of the evolution and transformation of the consciousness, because even though we can still see a lot of these darkness around the world, there are a lot of people that are waking up and that are taking the responsibility of holding that light with them wherever they go. And I am sure that also it doesn't matter if we have to do these like um, normal earthy endeavors or jobs or studies or things like that. Somehow we are being guided to come to these places, to meet other people, to touch other people, to influence. Now these days it's really popular, the word influencer.
Mm.
But it's talked about like, oh, being an influencer on the social media. But actually you really do have the power to influence other people, to influence the room where you walk in, because of the energy that you carry. Even if it's not a good energy or if it's a bad energy, if you come with a bad energy, you're probably going to make everyone or someone feel like shit or feel not good. But I think that if you are on a path of more consciousness, and you know these things, and if you didn't know, now you know, you can actually really influence the places where you go.
And also be open to receive the
Yeah,
positive
of
influence,
course. Hmm.
right? Yeah.
So we were talking about the energy of Aqabal, being one Aqabal today, and that
Mm.
every time there comes an energy that is combined with the number one, it means that this energy is going to be the one that is going to be influencing, like Sondre says, or the umbrella over the next 13 days. So there you can expect changes, you can expect um, experiencing your light and your shadow
The
and
extremes.
the extremes. and
Mm.
and if I could give you one advice, is that, you know, it's not necessarily the best thing to do to fight with your shadows, but to embrace them, integrate them, see what that side of yourself wants to teach you, to tell you, because it's also communicating with you, because it's probably telling you some things in which you can maybe become better in maybe you need to find some forgiveness, or forgive someone, or forgive yourself, and not be so hard on yourself. And I always like to say this, because a lot of people like to say, oh yeah, I am light, 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 I am the sunshine of the world and everything. And when people are talking about that, I'm like thinking like, oh yeah, you're not talking about your darkness. I know it's there. It's not a bad thing all the way. I want to say that. And also the people that are saying, yeah, I'm not good, I am blah, blah, blah. I know there's some light in there. It's like this yin and yang. If you know this symbol of yin and yang, also that there's always this white spot in the darkness and there's a black spot in the light.
Mm.
So
Yes, and there's one thing that I think is nice to share also, and it's this belief in how our life and our future, it exists as that nothing is written in stone. You know, we tend to think that every day maybe is the same, or that's one way of looking at our reality, that things never change and everything is the same, everything stays the same. There's no real impact you can have on the world, which can be true. I mean, that, okay, fine, that can be one version of it. And if you really prefer that, I think that's the key. If that's what you prefer wholeheartedly and you're satisfied with that, then that's kind of your reality if you insist on that. But on the other hand, like on the other extreme, there does exist a reality where everything changes, nothing stays the same. There's a huge potential for change, and I think that is also equally true. And both these extremes, weird as it may sound perhaps, they exist parallel to each other here and now. And I think that's maybe part of it. That's maybe part of the lessons of integrating that we're being given, of being able to integrate and be conscious and play with these two extremes. On one hand, yes, every day is gonna be, some things will remain the same. Our house is still probably gonna be standing like it is. The mountain will still be standing how it is, and so on. The sun is gonna rise in the east. But on a deeper level, on a more maybe not so perceivable level, maybe like on the really, like if you think a bit scientifically, on a quantum level even, then there's always change. There's always miniature small changes, or maybe big changes that are happening. If we think in the big universe too, there are tremendous changes happening when the planets move and the galaxies move and so on, just to give an example. So yes.
So if you would like to take advantage of this energy for the next 13 days of Aqabal, of receiving the clarity, if you're feeling that you are on the dark side of the moon, or you're feeling like you are going through difficult times, or that you feel frustrated, or that you feel that you don't know where to go, what to do, if you feel sad, if you feel depressed, wake up and receive the sunlight. Wake up before the sun comes out and ask for this clarity to arrive in yourself, and you can send us a message back and tell us if something changed inside of you or not. I really believe in this. I really believe that it can make a change in yourself. And the other thing that actually makes the perfect combination for this to change inside of you, if you wake up in the morning and look at this light, is to also say thank you and show your gratitude and speak out your gratitude out loud for the things that you are grateful for. Even if it's just one thing, I'm sure you have something to be grateful for, even if everything else is falling apart. So and don't be so hard on yourself. There's enough hardness in this world. There is enough war in this world. So if you can actually call in the peace inside of yourself, if you can be nicer to yourself, if you can put your weapons down and stop fighting against yourself, then, or your reality or your life, and ask for the energies to actually show you why you are there, or why this is all happening for you. Everything has its purpose, and the more you connect with it instead of avoiding it, the more you're going to be able to move through it. That's the only way out.
Yeah, because even being able to really forgive and accept I believe that's one expression of that light of the dawn, the forgiveness itself. Even though it can be forgiveness towards yourself, if you really feel stuck, it's better to accept it and to bring your heart into it and deal with it like that instead of pushing it away and pretending it's not there. So yes, also it's worth to mention that we both were also offering, we have certain offers out there, right? Which I think it's good to present these two, because we all have gifts, we all have offers to share. And personally, I've been doing quite a few human design readings combined with interpretations of a person's Mayan cross. And same
and
with
if you are into the Mayan calendar and want a Mayan cross reading from me, that you can get also. You can also find the Mayan energies and read about them on my website, themayantimecapsule.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as well, we have been hosting cacao ceremonies in our house. And we've been given quite a few requests, which we take to heart. And I think it will be a good move for us to keep that seed alive and to set up for a new session here in our house.
Yeah.
Simply, yes, welcoming the dawn. And I think also with these readings, as we call them, the other day I was thinking a bit about the, you know, how you have the word a fortune teller. And I was thinking, hey, fortune teller, what does that really mean? And it made a little click in me that a fortune teller could be a person, you know, a fortune teller is thought of as someone who predicts the future, but perhaps the role of a fortune teller is to be able to perceive and express, when it relates to another person, the most fortunate version of that other person. Because again, you know, we exist with so many potential versions of who we could be, of what we could be, all depending on the choices we make, right? So I think that's what it's really about, of being able to present a fortunate version of things, of people. And the last thing, Jennifer, the tour is worth to mention.
Yeah. This November 20th, we begin our next Mayan Time Capsule Sacred Journey to Guatemala. It's a 20-day journey connected with the 20 energies of the Mayan calendar. It's an activation of the Mayan calendar in your consciousness, in your mind, in your body. And we travel together for 20 days. We want to show you Guatemala and move through Mayan sacred time. So it is going back to the womb of sacred time. So this journey is called the Mothership. So if you feel called, come and join us in this Mothership sacred journey to Guatemala, a Mayan time capsule. 20 days, you and us.
Great.
Yeah. So if you like our videos, please share them and let us know what you think. Let us know if there's more things that you think about that you would like for us to talk about. And we stay in touch. Keep your inner fire alive, and we'll see you soon again.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer, and thanks to whoever might be watching.
Aq'ab'al!